Let me welcome y'all. I first just want to thank the Chancellor for helping me with this. So let me give y'all a little background. This is going to be a little longer. I'll shorten it because I know some of you have heard this. I want to give you a little background about why today I'm announcing a new office for the Attorney General's office. It's only the second one, so we have one in Little Rock, of course, and this will be our second office, our Northwest Arkansas office, we are calling it. If you look at a lot of other states, they have multiple Attorney General offices around the state, and so let me give you a little background. So when I took over the Attorney General's office in January of 23, there was an office being rented up here. I think it was in Lowell, and it had one non-lawyer in it. And that person basically attended events, is my understanding. And I just thought we need to take a look at this and figure out why we're renting that. And I was trying to, and successfully did, build a culture of cooperation, collaboration within the office. And I just thought, we need everybody here. So I said, we're going to shut this one down. And I didn't really like the location for this office, and I'll get to why later. But we're going to shut this one down. Just send that ask that one person to come to Little Rock, which we did. And again, a non-lawyer. And we moved on. So we've made a lot of changes in the AG's office, as you know. We've got a building that we've restored that we're now going to be owning in year 6. Made a lot of structural changes internally. And one of the things that I know to be true when you're talking about recruiting future lawyers, the clerks play a really important role. The role that they play day to day is not unimportant, but it's really about figuring out who's a good fit and who's talented and who you can hire. Because we've really raised the standards, we've made our salaries more competitive because we're working on some of the biggest cases for the state, and we want the top lawyers, and we want to be able to compete in the market. And get good lawyers, and we've been able to do that. We've been able to really raise the standard. And so when I look at the clerk program that we have currently, certainly in the summer, we have clerks from all over the country. Some people have ties to Arkansas, some don't. We have some from this law school up here. We have some from Bowen, all over the country in the summer. But it's very competitive for clerks, particularly the best and brightest of the law school here and the law school in Little Rock, because in the summer, these top students, many of them are willing to go wherever they can get offers, and if their grades are really good and their law review, etc., they're going to get offers in urban areas and other places all over the country. And so it's really competitive, and some of those, if given a choice, are going to go for some of those big firms. But the fact that we can hire clerks from the Little Rock Law School during the school year, as opposed to just the summer, is an advantage. Because while they're going to school, they're not going to clerk in Dallas or wherever. They're going to be right where they are. And we can show them what an awesome office we have and why it might be a good fit for them. We have not been able to do that up here because we did not have anywhere clerks could work with us during the school year. So if we didn't, from up here, your top students, Chancellor, if we couldn't get them in the summer, we couldn't get them because just logistically they're here and we're there. And again, where people clerk is generally speaking where they work. And so early on, I've had a great working relationship with the chancellor on a lot of fronts, on some research, on the Quill Project, which is preserving a bunch of old documents that relate to our state constitution. On a number of fronts, I work very closely with the chancellor and Rebecca and his staff. And so one day I was up here, I believe, and I think I had been in and around the law school, and I said, hey, what if we just put an office on campus? Because then we would absolutely be convenient for the best students at the university to come clerk for us, right? They could still pursue their studies. They wouldn't have to drive 30 minutes or even 25 minutes or 20 minutes, right? We're just right here. And so we talked about, can we go in? I even talked to the dean of the law school at the time. Could we get in the law school? Maybe we can be somewhere else on campus. And we were shown this space here. And I said, well, I really would like that. We don't want to spend a lot of money. And I made the case, and I hope successfully, that it benefits the university. Because we are here as an opportunity for students, and it benefits us because we get to tap into the resource of the best students at the law school and have them clerk during the year as their schedule allows. So we settled on this, and if in case you're wondering, it's approximately $1,500 a month, which I think is a really good deal. I think it's also a really good deal for the chancellor. So let me tell you how we're going to build this out. So right here, we have this back section where we will have 2 attorneys working full-time. And we already have one who volunteered to move up from Little Rock, and Will Olson, and he's in here, and he's a senior attorney, and he sort of runs the place. We've got 2 clerks. They are quoted in the press release. Joel Gaffney is from Mayflower, I seem to remember. And I had lunch with him and Diana last week. Diana's from Springdale. Diana, is that right? Springdale? Yeah, from Springdale. And we had lunch last week at Hugo's. They seem to enjoy that. And it's not far. So that's an added plus with Cheers and everything else around here. And the Thai place and the, Mediterranean and the Mexican. So it's a really cool place. And in the press release, you'll see these 2 clerks that we've got who, by the way, are elite in their class. They may not say that, but they're doing very well at the law school. We are honored to have them. Neither one of them, I think I can say this, contemplated summer because their summers were so crowded. Is that fair? So this gave them another option, and it is precisely the situation of the 2 clerks that we have that I described as one that I was wanting to address, and lo and behold, it's working, right? It's working. So there's a quote from Joel, there's a quote from Diana in here, just talking about what it means to them. I've described what it means to our office, but you'll see their quotes in here. Also, in addition to the main reason, which was to really access the talent, and we also, of course, will be able to take meetings here. And when I'm up here, I can use it. Our investigators work with law enforcement up here. They can use it. We have a little meeting area for staff. And so we have very close relationship with the trucking industry, particularly on human trafficking. We have very close relationship with the retail industry, fighting organized retail crime. I was at Walmart last week looking at some of their new operations center. looking for more ways that we can work together, using some of their capabilities to do what my job requires me to do, particularly on the law enforcement side. So there are a lot of synergies that are going to benefit Arkansans at a really, really reasonable price. And I think we can say, because this is the U of A, I think we can say we're on campus.
You can.
I think we can say we're on campus. And so it's just a lot of benefits to us, and I think to the community. And we're close enough to the rest of Northwest Arkansas's growth where we can access the other places. It's certainly a lot easier than driving from Little Rock. So anyway, I want to thank the Chancellor for just being a great partner. I don't see how this would have happened if it wasn't for our solid relationship, and we talk a lot and share ideas, and this is another one of those ideas that have come out of that. And I would love to have the Chancellor just talk about what it means to y'all.
Sure.
Yep.
Appreciate it, Attorney General. Hey, thanks everyone. I mean, whenever I follow Tim, it's easy because he tells such a full and thorough story, so it didn't leave me much to say. But I will underscore some points that I think are really important. First, we're a land grant institution. That means we serve the state of Arkansas, and we do so by producing students in a variety of fields that go out and become productive citizens, and we hope that they stay in Arkansas. And to be able to do this with our law students, where we not only train them, but better connect them to opportunities to serve the state, is like double land grant mission emphasis. So when the Attorney General came to me with this idea, I said, let's just get it done, because I always want our students to have opportunity, and when they can have opportunity serving the state of Arkansas, that's a double win for us. So we're thrilled. If he wants to pay us more, we'll take more, but we'll take what we agreed on. But we're happy to have the Attorney General as a great partner. He has been wonderful in so many areas that serve our campus and our students particularly. And we want to just keep this going. I know you've got some things that are going on with research that are really, really important. And so the continued relationship is important to us. The friendship that the Attorney General and I have is important to me. And the University of Arkansas is benefiting from this relationship. And our students, which first and foremost and priority for me, they're having the opportunities to engage in ways that they have not had in the past. And so we're thrilled about this, and we look forward to seeing this flower and grow and being supported by the university in every way.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. Yeah, so I think there are ways that we're going to use this office that we're not aware of yet. One specific thing that I'll mention, so the attorney that we have here, Will, is from our opinions division. The next attorney that I am seeking to hire up here or bring up here, one or the other, will be consumer protection. Consumer protection is a part of our office that is very outward facing. What does that mean? Well, it means they interact with the public a lot. There are parts of our office that almost never interact with the public. For example, the opinions division it does not generally interface with the public the way consumer protection does. Consumer protection, they are the fighters against things like scams, fraud, calls you get wanting you to give them money, text you get saying you owe for a toll, text you get saying you owe a DMV or a DF&A tax bill. You know, not everybody sees those and deletes them. Not everybody sees those and says that's a scam. Some people click, and some people give their money. And we've actually had numerous scams involving crypto, and we've been able to recover people's money from Bitcoin and crypto scams. So the Consumer Protection Division is very outward facing, and many times they need to meet in person in a way that some of the other divisions do not. Criminal appeals generally doesn't need to do that. Opinions generally doesn't need to do that. Our Medicaid fraud division generally doesn't need to do that. Consumer protection sometimes needs to sit at a little table like that one in there, needs to spread the documents out, needs to look at the individual's phone. They need to meet with that person. They need to see that person. And so this office will be used for that sort of opportunity as well, which is going to be a real enhancer for people in this part of the state. So, any questions?
When did y'all start talking about it?
I probably started thinking about it a couple of years ago, just as a notion. I don't know how long. I would say we decided on this probably a year ago, but wanted to get the timing right. Is that about right, Rebecca? I think about a year ago I decided on this. Does that sound right? Do you know the month? I bet you don't. Do you? I don't know. About a year ago I decided it, but about 6 months, so I'd say a year and a half ago, I really started getting interested in it and started saying, hey, what space you got? If I looked at a calendar, I'd say we probably looked at this space about a year ago when I came up here, something like that. I wanted to get it spaced out. I wanted to get everything right. I wanted to get it. We had to get some the carpet put in and a little bit of the furniture, and I had to identify the right person. Right, Will was ideal for this for a number of reasons. I didn't want to rush it. We didn't have new slots, so I couldn't say, let's hire new people up there. In Will's case, I needed to take someone that we already had. Okay, so there were some parts that I needed to get aligned before we could have this press conference. If this press conference was only about having control of the space, we could have done this 8 months ago probably. But also I had a lot going on, right? So my chief deputy died suddenly, which was a really sad thing. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that today is the second year anniversary of his death. He died today 2 years ago. And that was a very traumatic event. A U of A grad, a Kappa Sig U of A grad, by the way, Bob Brooks. And so that was a tough deal that we had to get through. And we also moved. So we moved buildings to this restored, gorgeous building that is really it's a landmark, and I'm sure the ADG is close to it. So if you've been to the mothership of your paper, then you've seen it. So we've had a lot of moving parts, and we wanted to do one thing at a time, at least try. And so now's the time to announce this. And but this has been notional for a while.
So this is for Chancellor Robinson, but feel free to opine.
Yep.
Are there any concerns about, and the AG mentioned talent and recruiting talent, have any concerns about continuing to try and recruit good students to the university, good law students to the university following the recension of the offer to the dean?
Well, I mean, that was an unfortunate situation for us, and we definitely didn't like doing that or being in that position. But I can tell you I have every confidence in the University of Arkansas and its law school to attract talent, whether that's student talent or faculty talent. The university is doing really well, and we produce a great product, and this is Northwest Arkansas is a great place to live. So I believe we're going to move forward from that situation very positively, and the law school will do great, as it normally does, in attracting the type of talent that helps the state of Arkansas.
Any updates on filling that slot?
Well, the provost sent out something this week. We're planning on naming an interim soon, but that will probably come sometime next month. But we're going through a process where people are making nominations to the provost, and then he'll review those suggestions and then make decisions that he thinks will best support the law school. So
I just want to mention something. So I'm looking for a text from a student. For every student who disagreed with that, there were many more that agreed with it. They texted me. I heard from them. So the idea that they're all monolithic is untrue. I went to law school. I went to Tulane. I never once thought I had a say in who the dean was. I'm just going to say it. I'm not saying they do or don't here, but at my law school, no one ever asked me who the president of Tulane was going to be or who the dean at Tulane Law School was going to be. And I didn't expect them to, because I was there to learn from people that knew a lot about the law. I knew nothing. I was a law student, right? I just started. So it's not a one-sided deal. I wish I could find that text. I wouldn't name the name, but I still have it. The individual, I'll summarize it. I got a text right after that, and I didn't say rescind her contract. I just thought you could do better. And I made my views known. But I got a text after this that said, "Thank you, Attorney General, for speaking out. There are a number of us here in the law school that feel like our views are ignored and not represented, and we appreciate you doing this, bringing some balance to what is otherwise not a particularly balanced profession." So, look, this is not about whether someone can believe what they want. Of course they can, but there are consequences. There's consequences to what I say, or my advocacy is. Even though I'm free to do it, the voters have a say about that. Other people, they're my employers. So I just think the assumption of your question is because she was the contract, and he can't necessarily say this or won't, but the assumption of your question is because her contract was rescinded, we might have more difficult time finding great students. Nonsense. How about because her contract is rescinded, you're going to get a lot of great students who otherwise maybe wouldn't have considered Arkansas. It's just a different perspective, and I think it's one that at a minimum requires some attention, because it's not one-sided and they're not monolithic. And I can tell you, I know a bunch of students who didn't sign their names to the list. And some did. Last time I checked, it was not everybody in that law school. And it shouldn't, you see letters from law professors. Is it a great surprise where a lot of law professors stand on the political spectrum? No. And look, again, I never advocated one way or the other on rescission. I just thought we could do better. I think the University of Arkansas is going to do great. It's going to do awesome. And I would predict 10 years down the road, you will see zero impact on the quality of your students, and you might even have better students as a result. I predict that. If I'm still around in 10 years, remind me and we'll look at it. And how will you look at it? You look at incoming test scores. You look at the LSAT test scores. You look at grade points. You look at universities that people are applying from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There are ways to look at the quality of the incoming student body. And I think you can do that objectively with metrics. And I don't think you're going to see an issue with this law school. As a result, if anything, they're going to be better off. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Just to make sure I'm clear, the university owns this building and is leasing you the space for $1,500 a month. Is that correct?
Yes. Hang on. It's a 1-year lease, $1,550 a month.
You happen to know the square footage?
800.
Is that a good deal, or are you giving him a break?
It's a good deal for me.
I think it's a good deal. I mean, space.
Market value?
Space for us is a challenge because of our growth, but we wanted to find space for this program and for this opportunity for our students. And so I think it's it's a win-win for the university and also for the Attorney General's office.
I am told by Rebecca that is market value.
We had empty spaces in this building.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't,
Potentially some down there.
I haven't had a space, study where I've reviewed the operations of this, but you might understand that. I mean, the chancellor has brought these studies and I have them, other people in facilities are responsible for it. But anything that we have available, we try to fill it because empty space doesn't really serve us very well. And this program is great for us because, again, it's opportunities for our students, and that's what we really appreciate.
How long has the university owned this building?
Oh my goodness, I do not know the answer to that, and I'm not going to hazard a guess. I know we've had it a while. We have the Prior Center here, which has really been part of our portfolio for a long time, but it didn't start here. I know it migrated here, but I don't really remember how long we've owned the building.
And then just to clarify, how many clerks will you have per semester here?
We have 2 now. I would like to have 3.
Each semester, so spring, summer, fall?
I'd like to have 3 year-round. We'll see. I don't know exactly why we ended up with 2 now. It may have been, I think a lot of people didn't even know when we're going to have it open. So there was some uncertainty, but I have no doubt that we will have amazing applicants, and the 2 we've got now are, like I said, top of their class, proud to have them. They're doing great. I checked with our people internally, and they said they're awesome. And they're the kind of people that we want to get time with so that we potentially can offer employment when it's all said and done.
How does that compare to the Little Rock office? Do you generally have 3 there?
We have more than that, I believe, because it is first of all, that's where all of our, historically, we got almost 200 people in that building. So historically, they only clerked physically with the divisions. This idea of having clerks for certain divisions, distance is new. So, we're going to figure this out and see what works best. We could theoretically put some, if we decided clerks were more important up here, we could, than another lawyer or another employee, we could probably put 2 or 3, it starts to get a little crowded, but we could, because they're not always here at the same time. So, we'll see. I'm all in on getting, maintaining our quality and getting as many of them in through our doors, because I think once they see the balance of our quality of life, our esprit de corps, the culture we've built, the excellence with which we are practicing law, I think that there's something that's infectious about it. We have a great time. We've got a lot of energy. A lot of us do. And so I'm excited about it. I think 2 for now, but we'll see.
Chancellor, any idea of what the vacancy rate is in this building?
I don't.
So how much did you just fill up?
I don't want to hazard a guess. I don't know the answers to that. We can get you answers, but I do not know the answers to that.
You're going to try and rent him more in a year, right?
Well, it's always an option.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, so here we are. Okay. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Amen.
Thank you, Chancellor.
Okay.
Does anybody